All right, we're here for our first video on our new channel, the Raw&Uncut DC show, with me and Corey Waller. Corey, say hi to everybody.
What's going on, everybody?
You ready for our first video on our new channel, man? You got
Just
a channel?
bring it. Just bring it, baby.
Just bring it. Follow the buzzards. I bring it. See that? I got another rock shirt on. Can't help it. Can't help it. Oh, man. So, we're going to be discussing the pay-per-view that happened last night, Battleground 2014, which was a pretty interesting and entertaining pay-per-view. At least I thought so. What do you think, man?
I think it was awesome, dude.
I think it actually surprised me. Going into it, I was kind of nervous that they weren't going to deliver on the main matches I cared about. The main match I was excited about Jericho and Wyatt and the main event. And even though one of those matches I didn't agree with the outcome, which I'll get into later, but they're still good matches, entertaining matches. What do you think?
Do what now?
What do you think, man? Like you think the matches actually lived up to the hype, like especially like Jericho and Wyatt, matches that you were looking forward to, did it live to the potential?
I think all of them did, man.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, I think it had a lot of shock value. It was one of those where you couldn't really know what was really going to happen. I mean, you are pretty much knew Cena was going to win, but other than that, you didn't expect the outcome of a lot of matches in there, man.
Yeah. So we'll just dive right into this, man. The first match of the night, which I missed the first 10 minutes I had to start over on the network, was the Wyatts versus Usos. Man, what a good tag team match that was, man. Classic tag team action, I think.
Yeah, buddy.
What do you think about that match, man?
It actually impressed me, man. Like I said, them two teams together, man, they're just amazing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they step it up each and every time, man.
They have good chemistry in the ring. They have very good chemistry.
They definitely do that, man. It impressed the hell out of me. Like I said, I was hoping for the Wyatts, but I guess it makes sense till, Bray gets some kind of victories under his belt. It makes sense for them not to have titles when he don't even hold one yet.
Yeah.
So it's understandable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't know if you...
I was mad about the Usos winning, but I think about it, all these feuds are going to continue. They made it pretty clear last night. Like most of the results, it's not the end all be all for the feud. So I think eventually the Wyatts will win the tag team belts, probably at SummerSlam, or maybe even the champions. I don't know. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you noticed, man, but in their interview beforehand, when they cut that little promo, it seems like they're leaning towards the Usos breaking up there, man. Did you sense that?
I think so, too. You had a vibe to it like that. And you know what? I would actually be all for that, actually. Even though they are a good tag team and they've improved. I used to hate the Usos a couple of years ago, and now they're one of my favorite tag teams. But there's only so far you can go with them now. I mean, I think them breaking up actually was a pretty good story, actually, if done right.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what I think, man, I think they've done got so high above there. You can't go but so high in the tag team division before you just got to go separate ways, or either that or build it up, man. I mean, Roman Reigns is their cousin. It would be awesome to see them three as the new, whatever you want to call it at the time. A new Hawaiian faction would be interesting.
I think so, man. But the match was good, though. I mean, good way to start the pay-per-view. It really got me hyped up, man. I was like this is going to be a good pay-per-view. From that match on, I was like, this is going to be a good show.
Yeah, it definitely was, man. I enjoyed it.
What's up with the show, man? I remember you told me on the Boxer app earlier that some of the match results kind of bugged you. Go into more detail about that, man.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the pre-show, which, it started with Adam Rose and Fandango.
Yeah.
That sort of upset me because, I mean, I get it with this whole Adam Rose thing, but it seems like they're totally burying Fandango, man.
I like Fandango. I don't know why they want to do that for him. He's over.
I don't know what it is. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be. I mean, what is this proven with, Summer Rae and Layla? I mean, obviously they're causing them to lose a lot. So, I mean, how do you end that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know.
What I can see where they go with that one. But on the Cameron versus Naomi, I don't know if you've seen that. That was pretty interesting.
Cameron and Naomi?
Yeah.
That was an interesting one, yeah, that's for sure, man. I
I,
don't know
I
what
was glad on that one, man. Girl, bye.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man.
It
I guess
wasn't a bad match.
what.
It was a Divas match.
Yeah, I guess what didn't sit well, which now that I look back on it, I sort of understand, was the Jericho Bray Wyatt match.
Yeah.
You know, it's just I understand. I mean, what's good about that is Jericho's going to go even longer. I mean, this ain't the end of Jericho, and it damn sure ain't the end of Jericho versus Bray Wyatt. So I'm liking that.
I'm happy you mentioned that because people are pissed off last night. When I was reading the results of people on the internet, they were mad that Jericho went over. But in a way, it kind of had to be done because when Jericho came back last year, all he was doing was jobbing. So now that he's got a big win, it kind of gives him some more credibility to put up Bray Wyatt in SummerSlam, for the future.
Totally agree.
I mean, like, I was still mad because I'm a huge Bray Wyatt fan. I was watching it last night. I was kind of pissed off, but I was like, it had to be done, though, because, I mean, you had Jericho losing all the time, and even though that's a good thing, because he's a part-timer, he's not going to be around, for much longer, but still, I guess it's good to give him a couple wins here and there.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, they're doing the storyline is the best it's been in a while, man. Because I mean, that really, it actually literally left me emotionally drained throughout that whole pay-per-view, man. I was just like, oh my God,
Yeah, it was
you were thinking matches was gonna end, and they continued. There was a lot of shockers. I mean, I seen the Miz thing happening before it happened. I noticed every time he would slide underneath the ropes instead of going over. I was like, yep, he's gonna win this sucker.
Actually, I was also happy that Miz won, man. The only matches I was essentially upset about was the main event. I knew Cena was going to win, but I didn't know how they're going to make him win. But it kind of pissed me off how they did it, like, it was kind of a lazy way. But other than that, that match and the IC match is the one that surprised me the most.
Yeah, but I guess with the whole Cena thing here, I come to Cena's defense
Oh,
once again.
Cena defense train, man.
Oh God, man, you got to give it to him. He was much more aggressive, a lot more active in this match than he was in the Money in the Bank. He actually, to a certain degree, earned it last night
He earned the
compared to Money
victory.
in the
There's
Bank.
one thing I can't say, even though I was still mad that he won, but he was like, he barely did anything in the Money in the Bank match. I mean, Orton pretty much carried that whole match. Everyone hates on Orton, but Orton was the star of the Money in the Bank last month. You know.
RKO, baby.
I was going for Orton to win. I actually thought he was going to win there for a minute. I was kind of like, man, I was going for Orton. I was a little
Oh
disappointed.
man, you ought to see me yell at that camera, man. I thought for sure, like surprisingly, they were going to hit you with a shock value and let Kane win. That's what it was looking like, man. I was
Imagine if
like, oh
that happened.
God, no.
If Kane would have won, would you have been upset about that?
I don't know. I think I would still be in shock right now to even answer that question, man. Because I mean, that almost looked like that there for a while, man. I was like, oh God, no. I mean, it was literally surprisingly. I know everybody's gonna say, it's already set for, Lesnar and Cena, but I mean, that match really made you wonder. You got to admit that it
Yeah.
really made you wonder whether Cena was really gonna win that, man. Every single one of them had that chance. It was like, there's no way, they're gonna win, man. And it really shocked you, even though thought you knew, you really didn't. That's what I liked about it.
Because they all look good in the match. That was the first thing that surprised me. Usually when Cena wins, sometimes it usually pisses me off when he makes one look bad. But in this match, Roman Reigns, Kane, and Orton all got their time to shine in the match. Especially Reigns. He looked pretty good in that match, even though he kind of did his finisher a little too much for my taste. But other than that, he looked pretty good. What do you think about Roman Reigns, man?
I mean, I guess the reason that he kept doing the finisher, man, is because you were like, oh, it's definitely over now. It's definitely over now. It kept you hanging every time. It kept you at the edge of your seat, man.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, I like what they're doing with him is because they're slowly making him that main guy. You know what I'm saying? I hate when they rush a guy that comes in there, a year, maybe 2 years, and one minute they're a tag team, next minute, they're all over, getting tag titles. I think they're doing him the right way this time. Finally, they're doing somebody the right way.
Doing that slow build, unlike Sheamus when they gave Sheamus the belt, like the first 2 months he was there, they pushed Sheamus to the moon. Jack Swagger got the belt within 6 months, and they pushed him way up there, man. They're doing it gradually now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I Cena won. We're getting Cena and Lesnar at SummerSlam. It's kind of predictable, but in a way, I'm looking forward to it. What do you think, man?
I'm definitely looking forward to it. Now, I don't know if you know this, 2 years ago in Miami, right after the WrestleMania, was when he showed. So literally, this is 2 years later, man. So it just makes sense. You know what I'm saying? That's why I told you sometimes you just got to sit and watch the story unfold. Sometimes it takes 1 year, 2 year, and that's what I like about it. It's not a rushed feud and it just ends. That's what I liked about this pay-per-view. That's what I like about this whole Lesnar build-up. Is they're taking their time and they're explaining something from years ago or a year ago. They're breaking it down better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
Lesnar's got unfinished business. John Cena won the last one.
And you know what? It makes sense because in a way, like you said, when Cena won a couple years ago, because I went to WrestleMania a couple years ago, WrestleMania 28. I was there live, for the Rock and Cena match. I was, I bring him. I was on Team Brigham still. But the next night, I was so mad I didn't go to Raw to see Lesnar's return. I had a chance to go. I didn't show up. And when they had Cena beat Lesnar a couple of years ago, I was pissed off about it. But now, in a way, I see why they did, because now they can revisit the feud now. And it makes sense to revisit the feud. You know what I'm saying, man?
See what I'm saying though?
Yeah,
I
man.
told you
Two years later,
you just gotta pause. You just gotta enjoy it, man. Don't worry about, people just want to give up too fast and they miss history a lot. You know what I'm saying?
and going into this pay-per-view, like I said, I wasn't super excited for it. Like, I was only excited about two matches on the card, Jericho and Wyatt, and the main event. And I actually enjoyed the whole show because I had low expectations. See, I see what you're talking about now. We really hype ourselves up for pay-per-views like this. Like, we expect every match to be 5-star. And not every single match was 5-star. But the one thing I loved the most was the Ambrose and Rollins, how they did that. I love the Ambrose and Rollins account, especially that backstage. It just felt like the Attitude Era, man, all over again. We were fighting on top
I told you, man.
Ambrose attacked him back. I was
Yeah.
loving it.
That's what I liked about that one. It won't actually a match, man. They're going to have to. Honestly, I hope they don't even rush it for SummerSlam. I hope this continues for a long period of time because, I mean, let's face it, they're going to be phenomenal in that ring, man. They are going to steal the show, whether they're, mid-card, very beginning or the end. They're going to steal that show, guaranteed. When they finally have a match, they're going to steal it. Straight up. No matter who you put in there, not matter if you bring Sting back or anybody like that. Dean and Seth are gonna steal that, man.
I was kind of mad that they didn't have a match tonight, but I was thinking, you know what? They're actually giving us what we want for years and years, and even myself included. I have complained about their predictability, and now they're taking their time, and people are bashing them for it. You see the irony here, man? They're damned if they don't, man.
That's what I'm saying, man.
They're taking that slow build for this feud. Like, I think by maybe not even SummerSlam. I don't think they're gonna have a match at SummerSlam. I think that they're gonna tease us all the way up to the Royal Rumble, and it's gonna continue to WrestleMania. That's gonna be the big blow off of the feud. It's gonna be WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm seeing is a couple of disqualification matches, and then finally having a no DQ street fight, man.
Oh man, imagine that,
would be
man.
awesome.
That would be awesome. Nostalgia right there, man. Big Attitude fan right here. Big old nostalgia, like big old brawl.
Oh God.
So where was Sting last time, man? There was a big rumor about Sting being at the pay-per-view. Where was the Stinger, man?
I don't know, man. He's just coming back for a Hall of Fame ring and is for his chance to be featured in a video game, man.
See, that's one of the things where we hype ourselves up. Like, even I was watching the pay-per-view like last night. I was like, when's Sting coming out? Is he going to interfere in the Jericho and Wyatt match? Like, I was waiting for Sting the whole night. That was part of the problem, you see? See what I'm saying?
I don't know if you caught it, man, but when Cena won, he kept looking towards that Titantron like somebody was coming out. That's what I was prepared for. I don't know if he's teasing you for something, but I noticed he kept looking back.
Yeah.
And nobody came out. What was that about? I don't know if you noticed it, but he did it quite a few times after he won, man.
Yeah, I think so, too. I mean, they could be even delaying Sting on purpose. I mean, I know he signed some kind of contract to be featured in the video game. I mean, same thing happened with Ultimate Warrior. He was the featured in the video game last year, and he came back. He didn't wrestle, but he came back on the WTV. So he's going to be involved eventually. I don't
Yeah,
know
well, I
if he's
mean,
involved in, but
Ultimate Warrior, if he wouldn't have passed, I think he signed like a 2 or 3 year contract that he was supposed to be pretty much part of the Authority or something, to my understanding.
yeah,
So I mean, he was
well, at
supposed to
least
play,
a team or something, something involved.
yeah, he was supposed to be involved in something, but I mean, sadness happened, man.
Yeah, man. But going back to this pay-per-view, what do you think about the whole AJ and Paige match, man? How was
Thank God AJ won, man. I'm
it?
sorry, man. Just Paige
You're
needs to
not
go
a Paige
back to development stage. I'm not a Paige fan at all. She needs to go back to development stage, man.
the
She
anti.
lost. She lost what she fought for. You know what I'm saying? She was so much better in NXT, and people can say what they want about WWE dropping the ball on certain people. I just don't think that her in-ring ability ain't impressive, man.
She hasn't really impressed me since her debut on Raw. I mean, NXT, yes. I've only seen only a very small portion of her NXT story. As for her work on the main roster, they kind of called her up too quick, in my opinion. Not that she's a bad wrestler to say, but her promos and mic skills are pretty bad, man.
Yeah, well, you know what I think it is, man, and one of my friends, Craig, said this best, man. We were on the phone, he went to the Richmond Raw, with me, but not really
Yeah,
with me, but he went there. But
yeah,
he made a good point, man, that made me sit and think. Who's to say they're not just crapping on these divas, man, so they don't surpass people like Lita or surpass people like Trish Stratus? Because let's face it, some of these people do have the ability to do so.
yeah,
That's something deep that like when I was sitting there watching both divas matches, I was sitting there thinking, I was like, you know what can make the diva division like awesome, dude, is if they supposedly find that sister, what's her name, Sister Abigail,
yeah,
is if she really never died to begin with, and she comes back as this sort of built like China, just clears house with the diva division, man. I
yeah,
think that would be fucking awesome, dude.
yeah, man. Like you said,
There you go, Vince. Do you hear me?
I mean, like I'm a big AJ Lee fan. See, that's the problem. I'm a big AJ, so I'm kind of biased anyway. I like AJ way more than Paige. You know.
And I noticed it's starting to surface lately with this whole CM Punk that apparently, his time with WWE is officially over. Is that them like wanting you to give up so it is a shocker? Or is
Well,
it really over, man?
Punk chance last night. You heard that, man? During the match,
Yeah.
AJ Lee and Paige. There's a lot of CM Punk chants as usual. I think he'll come back. I don't know how long it's going to be, but he'll be back in WWE ring again. I mean, come on.
I mean, what I personally think, and I know this is a fan's wishful thinking. I wish Plan C, even though I'd love to see Brock Lesnar be Plan C, it
Yeah.
would just be awesome as, at the beginning, say tonight, kicking off at 8 o'clock, Paul Heyman come out and say, I brought Plan C with me. And I can only give you one hint. Something like it starts with the letter C or something like
Yeah.
that, dude. And how much the crowd would go crazy in waiting if it was CM Punk.
And so here's the thing: that it'd be the hugest shock ever because everyone thinks he's gone now for good because his contract expired. Just imagine the reaction, man. That alone will make it awesome. Even though I want to see Brock Lesnar and Cena again, but I wouldn't mind.
See, the crowd changes every time you turn around, man. Obviously, the crowd wants to see Roman and Cena go at it, man.
You saw that
So
last night
it's
with
like,
Roman? He looked
oh
pissed
my
off.
God, man. Like, honestly, now that I actually want to see it, man. And honestly, I would like to see Roman versus Brock Lesnar. I think that's got a better build than Cena or, Lesnar.
Yeah.
I think Roman and Brock would, hopefully that's the finished thing there, hopefully, but that's what I would like to see.
Brock Lesnar,
Conqueror.
Conqueror. One match that surprised me last night, man, was that Swagger and Rusev match. That was a lot better than it should have been. Man, that was a good match, Swagger and Rusev.
Well, that's because they're finally letting Swagger do his thing, man. I've always said, like I always told you, man, I've always been a Swagger fan, and I felt like they rushed him with that Money in the Bank win, They're
Yeah.
taking their time with him, and the crowd's got his, got his back. The only problem is, to a certain point, Americans, we almost want to cheer for the Russian because you notice they keep on bringing up Obama, and let's face it, America is not a fan of Obama, man. You notice
I
that,
know.
man? Like, stop bringing him up, dude, because you're ruining your whole crowd response by bringing him up, man.
Obama, man. By the way, everyone, if you guys don't know, Corey's the biggest Obama mark ever. Isn't that right, man?
That's right, man.
Obama, Team Obama. But actually, no, Swagger is getting intense in that ring again, man. Like, you look good in that match. Like, I really would like to see more of Swagger now. Because for a long time, they were doing him wrong. Like, they were just, putting him in stupid matches and stuck in that mid-card hell. And they're finally using him right. At least making him more intense in the ring. The way he
You
should.
know what I'd like to you know what I'd like to see, and I get that feel every time I see those two in the ring, man. I get this feel of a certain movie. You're probably going to know what I'm getting ready to say. But when Rocky took on that Russian dude,
Oh, yeah.
it's got that feel to it. So I say the best way to do it, man, to make Swagger more aggressive is if Rusev takes out Zep. To make it like where he just totally gets pissed off, dude. Sort of like what was his name, Apollo. Apollo took out that Russian, and then Rocky just came back out of nowhere, man. It's got that feel to me, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I should throw a Rocky 4 in there, man. You have the Eye of the Tiger. You dress up Swagger in that American, gear. Have him come out to the Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah.
It's the Eye of the Tiger. Kind of has that feel to it, man.
It definitely does, dude.
Over, though. I really hope this feud's not over. I don't think it is.
Oh, it's definitely not over, man. They'll probably have a no disqualification match too. No countouts, because man, I'm actually glad they did it, man. Even though I was, like I said, I'm sort of pissed off at the outcomes. At the same time, when you look back at it, you understand it.
How about you go more in detail, man? Like, what really disappointed you in the pay-per-view last night, man?
Obviously, most of the wins were disappointing, but I'm thankful that the story's not over. It's not like the WWE less than a year ago, where it was you had one match and that ended a whole feud. That's in reality, that's not going to end a feud, man.
Yeah.
So like I said, I mean, disappointment in the the ending parts of the match, but as of all the matches were great. Like I said, my only complaint is the winners, but it's also a build-up for it because we're getting ready to see Ziggler versus Miz, and I think if Miz would stop doing this whole afraid to get hit in the face type thing, I think that their match would be even more better.
He's got Hollywood. Miz has got Hollywood Rock on us, man. He's a new Hollywood Rock.
That's who he is, man. He's imitating The Rock. He's probably poking fun out of him, man.
You're wearing a Rock shirt,
And that's what was so funny. A couple years ago, I said that's the way The Rock should have been when he came back, dude. And it's exactly what Miz is doing, is how I wanted to see The Rock be.
Yeah. You want to see that, man?
Yeah, man.
Dwayne Johnson.
Dwayne Hollywood Johnson.
This like I was watching it last night. I was like, this is the first good pay-per-view since WrestleMania. Like, even though some of the matches were kind of predictable, but a lot of them surprised me. I thought for sure Wyatt was going to go over Jericho, and I thought for sure that Roman Reigns actually might win in the main event. But then again, like you said, man, I had very low expectations going into the show. That's probably why I enjoyed it a lot more than what it should have been. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I would like to get into talk of people that didn't actually win that I think stole, certain matches in there, man.
What's that, man?
Intercontinental title, man. Intercontinental title, you got to give it to Kofi Kingston, man.
Kofi Kingston, yeah, man. Stole the show again.
I mean, he didn't just do one thing that amazed you, man. He did like 4 or 5 things that was like, that sucker is bad, man.
It makes me kind of feel bad for him in a way, because, he hasn't got a decent push in a long time. But you know what? He still steals the show, though, every time he goes out there. Royal Rumble, ladder matches. He'll find a way to entertain you in those matches, man. Somehow, some way. Kofi Kingston, man.
Oh yeah, man. I'd
He's
like
made
to
for
see him get something, but I mean, I've always said this, dude. If you're going for the Intercontinental title and you've already been the heavyweight champion or the world champion like the Miz has been, I think Intercontinental's beneath you, man. It should go
Yeah,
to somebody that ain't yet made it. That's like a I'm getting ready to make it type of thing. You know what I'm saying? It
yeah,
shouldn't be that big of a deal that Miz is the Intercontinental champion when back in the day he was the heavyweight champion. I mean, I think that sort of lowers you down, if anything, man.
it is a degrade. Even though I enjoy Mrs. New character because, like you said, it's kind of like a spoof of the Hollywood Rock. But and if you really think about it, just 3 years ago, he was the main event at WrestleMania against John Cena. That's a hell of a way to fall in 3 years. The main event at WrestleMania,
Yeah,
winning the IC belt.
and it's just, I mean, that's just like Ziggler, man. I mean, Ziggler has been the world heavyweight champion. So I mean, even if he would have won, yeah, that would have been hyped up and everything, but I still believe that's beneath them, man. I think they should have just gave it to old Bo Dallas, man.
Believe, you got
Whoa,
to believe, brother.
baby.
I love Bo Dallas, man. I don't know what about that character.
Dude, he is the man, dude. He is the man, and watch and learn. I've done like that sucker since he's been there, dude. Liked him before actually even showing up there, man. I watched like indie wrestling with him on it and all that. I enjoy him, man. And what's so interesting about his character is I don't know if he's just that crazy and sadistic, but you see that Wyatt style in him, man.
Yeah.
I know he's supposed to be an inspiration, but to me, man, I don't know if he's just really that creepy, just like his brother, or if they're trying to make him out that way. But I think there's more to him, man, and I think the best thing for him. I mean, can you imagine him losing?
He'll
I'd like to
scare.
see what he turns. I like to see what he turns into. I hope he don't turn into like a punk afterwards. I'm hoping it gets that more aggressive Bo Dallas. That's what I'm hoping for, man.
Believe, brother. You just gotta believe.
Holy baby!
I think that eventually people will laugh at me right now, but I see him as a main eventer in a couple years. People will laugh at this. I know they're gonna laugh at this because there's a lot of Bo Dallas haters on the internet. But I believe, brother. I believe in him, man. I really think
I
that
believe from the beginning, man.
if they do him right, I could see him as the main eventer, at least a top heel for the company. I'm serious.
And when you think about it, dude, I don't know if you're, into like sports a lot, but I don't know if you remember the football player and baseball player named Bo Jackson,
I never really
where it
heard.
was
I heard
always
his
like
name,
Bo.
but I don't know him.
Yeah, but his whole thing, it was almost like a gimmick in football and baseball. It was like Bo knows baseball, Bo knows football, Bo knows this. You can use that for Bo Dallas, like Bo knows wrestling, Bo knows this, Bo knows that. You know, I think it'd be awesome, dude.
I hope they use him right, man, because that guy has so much potential. Like at first, I will admit, I wasn't really impressed with his work, but when I started watching more of his work, it's like this guy, he's gonna get over. And as you can tell, you went to Raw last week, wasn't it? And they had like a bunch of Bo Leave signs in the audience.
Yeah.
He's getting over, man. He's getting big, man.
Oh, hell, you believe me, with these people that make these videos all the time, all of a sudden they'll turn, start liking him like they like CM Punk and all that as soon as he gets, main event. And, oh, I've been a fan. I've been a fan. Shut your ass up.
Remember when Bray Wyatt debuted last year? You're like one of the very few
Yeah,
people actually like Bray Wyatt. Now a year later, everyone loves Bray Wyatt.
yeah.
And I want to go back to that Jericho and Bray Wyatt feud because actually that's the match I was most looking forward to. You think that feud was actually pretty good? That Jericho and Wyatt delivered on that match.
They definitely did. Both sides delivered, man.
And Y2J, man, comes
Yeah,
back,
it sucked.
delivers.
I don't know if you seen what he said on the Instagram, but he said, "Don't call it a comeback, LL Cool Jericho."
This is why I
Yeah,
love
man.
Y2J. He's different because yes,
I
he's
mean,
part time, but he sticks around though. That's what refreshing. Like he don't come back one week and then gone the next week. Like he sticks around for the whole feud, man. He's there every single week for the build up and delivers in the match, man. Y2J, man.
I've al I've always said that, man. He's one of the greatest of all time. Maybe not the greatest, but he definitely is, within the at least top five, I say.
Because The Rock is number one, right?
Oh shit, Triple H all the way.
The game. Speaking of Triple H, man, were you kind of surprised Triple H didn't come out in the main event to interfere? I was kind of shocked by there was no Triple H involvement in the main event.
Well,
But
you
anyway,
know, before it's all over with, it's definitely going to be Triple H versus Roman Reigns, man. I see that, and I think that's going to be. I mean, you better pray that ain't at WrestleMania because you know Triple H steals shows. Everybody can say Undertaker, I'm sorry, man. Triple H steals every show,
they,
every
they
show.
call Undertaker like the star of WrestleMania because of the streak, but if you go by match
Yeah,
quality, Triple H could really, out. It's not even
Triple
debatable.
H. The thing about Triple H, man, Raw, SmackDown, in-house shows, whatever the case may be, every show is like a pay-per-view when he's in that ring, man.
Yeah, because he brings that special kind of.
Nobody can deny that, man. Nobody can deny that.
And one thing about Triple H, I always buy into his character. Whether he's a face or a heel, ever since he had to, something about his character, you believe his intensity. Like because it feels so real. You don't have much of that nowadays, man. You have very few guys on the roster, like Bray Wyatt, that actually they play their character so damn well, man.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if you've seen Thy Kingdom Come, the DVD on Triple H.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, awesome documentary.
You got to give it to him on that, man, where he's the reason DX was formed, man.
Yeah.
And you had Vince saying, no, let's team you up with Honky Tonk Man and people like that. And Triple H basically just it was like, no, this is the way I'm going to do it, dude. So he's always been that guy that can basically run that show, man. And let's face it, we already know Vince does not like stables by any means. So the only reason we're seeing people like Wyatt family and, the Shield is because of Triple H, man. Because
And
he enjoys
he's
that.
right too. Real quick
Yep.
about the show. When they first debuted, I had zero faith they were going to last even 6 months. I thought for sure they're going to get buried within the first 4 months of being there, and they would have been meaningless. But they lasted almost 2 years as a stable before they started breaking up. That's pretty damn good, man. 2 years.
Well, I think they did that the right way because let's face it, they were already just amazing in the ring. All three of them, man. You can't knock one to boost up the other. They're
Ambrose is
all
Ambrose,
three.
but I love them all equally. Ambrose, Rollins, Reigns, no matter.
Yeah, that's why it's hard to who do you go for, man. It's like the
Ambrose and Rollins.
hardest choice to make, man. You really do not know who to go for, and any of them feuds, you really don't know who to pull for, man.
Do you think that they're kind of equally matched, Ambrose and Rollins? They kind of have like the same style, man. Of course,
I
Ambrose.
think all three. I think all three of them are just amazing, dude.
Yeah. Ambrose.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say which one I like better because I can't answer that.
You see Ambrose in that was it Triple H outfit last night, man? You look like Triple H out there, man. In that shirt and jeans. Ambrose, man. But
Ambrose,
you like
man.
the direction they're going though with Rollins' character?
Hmm?
You like the
Do
direction they're
what?
going with Rollins' character?
Yeah and no. I wish they would show him his pure skill without having any help, on his side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because he is
I would like to
talented.
see that. And I guess possibly we'd see that as like a cage match or something possibly, where there's no interference on either or side. It's just them two stuck in the ring. That's when you're going to get your best from them two.
What about Hell in a Cell? What do you think? Hell in a Cell.
I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Man. How about they go for the streak? The streak. I had to mention the streak at least once.
Yeah, man. Well, technically they're all undefeated at WrestleMania.
Yeah, we have a new streak building up, man.
And you can't forget about Believe, baby. Undefeated.
All right, man. Do you have any more thoughts about this pay-per-view, man? Because actually, I enjoyed it all the way through. And even though, like, some of the matches kind of surprised me, it wasn't in a bad way. It was a good way. A good surprise.
Did we touch on every match? I can't remember.
I think we did. I think the match we kind of skipped over the most was kind of like AJ and Paige, but there wasn't really much to say on it. I think we did mention it, though. But was there any matches that we forgot? I'm trying to think now. I think we touched them all. Did we, man? You remember any matches that we forgot?
I'm trying to think right now, dude.
Maybe there was one I think we forgot. We talked the IC match, right? The Miz?
Yep.
Yeah, we touched on that. I don't know because the main matches I think we covered all the matches. I think
Always Coca-Cola.
always
Share
Coca-Cola.
with a legend or a legend killer.
Oh, man, you must have drink that Pepsi by CM Punk, man. I drink that Pepsi.
Yeah, man.
You know, man, I'm not gonna lie, man. I know that this is a battleground discussion, but I do miss CM Punk, man, and Daniel Bryan. I actually miss those two.
The thing that's got me worried with Daniel Bryan, man, is the fans are wishy-washy, man. You
Yeah,
don't hear as much. You don't hear yes chants. I mean, you can't say, oh, because he's not there, that's why they're not doing the yes chants. But let's face it, they're still doing CM Punk when he supposedly quit the WWE. I
yeah.
feel like if he comes back, man, he's gonna have to work 10 times harder because I feel like the crowd's done lost him. You know what I'm saying? The crowd ain't behind him no more. You know, they done went on to Roman now.
And what's gonna happen when Roman wins the belt? They're gonna turn on him too. It's gonna keep going in this never-ending cycle. See, the problem is people
Probably.
don't pick their favorites. Like who you like, but stick to your favorites. Like you said, man. When CM Punk got big, there wasn't very many CM Punk fans beforehand, especially in the streets. Like people were hating on him big time. And he drops that pipe bomb. Now everyone's a CM Punk fan. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Yeah, man. Dropping that pipe bomb. Well, let us know, you guys' thoughts about the pay-per-view in the comments section. Because I think it was a good pay-per-view. I know a lot of people didn't like this pay-per-view, but I actually enjoyed it, man. It was a lot of fun to watch it. Yeah, some matches came in better, mainly the main event. I mean, towards the end, I got kind of lazy, but in a way, we know what direction they're going in. All these feuds are going to continue. So, you have any more final words, man, for this discussion, man?
3 words. Follow the buzzards.